Donna, if you're there, we wanted to hear your comments again about the West Indies performance.
Well, I said it when I started the report, and I said only our bowlers are performing, and I would sack all them batsmen and get a whole fresh set.
Okay. All right. Mr. Chambers, you heard Donna. Do you agree with Donna?
Donna means the very best for West Indies cricket. And I imagine why she's expressing herself the way she did. I'm sure she's not in agreement with that statement, I'm sure. To change the entire team. We are the players.
They're not performing, change them.
He's correct that the bowlers did what they had to do.
Yes.
You know, they did their part. Although I would love to see Shai Hope batting in a higher position. To me, he's the most complete batsman in it. And I don't see why he should be batting after Chase.
Okay.
Chase is a bowling all-rounder. When he plays, when we're at full strength, he bats maybe 5, 6 going down, yes. But in this batting lineup, Shai Hope is not supposed to be batting 6 or 7. In one of the games when we had a night watchman, I think Warwick batted as a night watchman, so he batted lower than I think 5 or 6, but he batted at either 6 or 7 in that game. And in this match, Chase batted ahead of him. I don't see a reason for it. They are closer to the scene, and I would imagine they give thought to it. But you're wondering it. We cannot help but argue why he is batting below Chase. And we need to look at our openers. You know, Campbell, the dismissal in that first test match, when he tried to sweep a ball well outside the off stumps of Hazelwood, the accurate fast bowler Hazelwood, and he was caught at backward square leg. Ball was going nowhere. I personally, among ourselves, I would have dropped him. Yes, because the purpose of openers is to try and see the shine off, and occupation is highly necessary. Your crease management must be perfect. Line up properly. Leave alone balls that are to be left alone. In that match, when he got out sweeping, we had 2 and maybe a half days to score 300 runs. Why, with that small total behind his name, he attempted that shot as an opener, fast ball. You're trying to sweep him well outside the half stump. He had no control over the shot. King had a good knock in the first innings. He batted well, and in the second innings, he was deceived by a very good delivery. He did almost everything right. Blewett, the former Australian batsman, he was a commentator, and he said that he could not have done anything better. He lined up, played at the ball, but it was a very good delivery, his dismissal. And I would love to see Audley be given an opportunity to play in the last test match. And I cannot understand why Warwick was appointed vice captain of the team. Usually, a vice captain is one we expect to take over from the captain, right? Down the years. And Audley at his age is not a bad prospect. I'm not saying that he would have been the ideal person, but I'm wondering if it would not have been better to just name Chase as the captain, and in the event of an injury or for any reason he had to leave the field, he asked one of the senior players to just continue until he got back onto the field. And I thought that, in my opinion, that he should not have been named vice captain. was vice captain and dropped. But after the first test match, she was dropped for the second test match. And I would imagine that one of the senior players would have been given that opportunity should it happen that Chase had to leave the field. But the approach of our batsmen in the second innings, you have to have that mental approach. You have to think about batting out the day as long as you possibly can. So you have another 2 days of remaining in this game. Australia finished their innings today, and we weren't able to bat out the day. I'm not saying the pitch was the best of batting pitches, but more application should have been seen by our batsmen. And this was not visible to me. Looking on, I watched the game. I watched both games. Watching on 2 different televisions, right? At one stage, my wife was asking me if I'm watching tennis, left and right. But I'm not going to condemn the team overall performance. And as the lady said before, our bowlers did their job well. It's just all batting. I'm wondering if the coaching approach from a batting angle is helping our batsmen. I listened to one of the comments, I think it was Ganga. And Ganga is of the view that we need a coach who has been there. Someone like a Chandra Paul or Brian Lar. One of these guys who, will bat for long periods. And it's not a matter of, I overheard Chase in an interview. He said that Sammy is not talking about your skill and your ability. You need the effort. But to encompass effort, to be the objective, you have to have the skills. You have to have the mindset in order to bat for long periods. And you need someone who has gone through the process. And I'm sure there are others who have had the experience, the personal experience of knowing how important it is in a test match, that you don't bat carefree. Carefree, you're batting for yourself, bat for the team. Try to occupy the crease as long as you possibly can. No irrational strokes. It's not a 2020 game or the closing overs of a 50 overs match. When you have a chase on, whether you're batting first, you need to get some quick runs, or you're chasing with few overs to bowl in a 50 overs. This is a test match. And we never show that ability to stick it out. You need stickability, and in order to exercise that and get the necessary result, in my opinion, I think that we need to have a serious look at our coaching staff, the batting. I listened to Rampal, and Rampal is so experienced, and for the short time that he has been there, listening to him, I never expected less. He was on point. We need a good batting coach. I don't know what part Sammy has experience of playing so long, but he was not a top-class batsman and one who knows what it takes to bat for long periods. And there are tough times. You might be playing and you're missing, but you don't give away your wicket. Put a price on your wicket. And I believe we have to look seriously at the batting coach. And I would love to see, as I said earlier, Hathnis into the team. I'm not going to say who should be dropped. This is the selector. Their responsibility. I can say it, but I am not in a position to justify that. The selectors are in the best position. Then again, who are the selectors? All that must be taken into consideration. Previously, we had 3-4 selectors. I don't know if Sammy is the one now. I think he's the one who is making the final decision. A responsibility given to him by the West Indies Cricket Board, so it's not his fault. But you need, in a situation where selection is concerned, you need to hear views, right, of people who are selecting a team, and the final decision should not be given to him.
All right, let's hear what our other panelists have to say on the matter. And let's start with Leon. What's your thoughts now on the West Indies?
Not only are the bowlers bowling well, they're also batting well.
Yes.
Everybody supposed to be able to bat. That is everybody. Those guys up front have no guts. And no matter what coach, unless they don't go to the wicket and believe that they can bat and bat like any other team and score centuries, we're not going to win. In the first instance, why in the world are we putting our opener? It's because he's going to make his 100 tests, you must play him. I don't think we should have played him, but they play him and he didn't do any better. It starts from the top. When your opener cannot make runs in both innings, the 7 is no runs for an opener who have made 12 centuries before. We wanted to give him his 100 cap. Why couldn't we give him another time and bring in some other youth? And the batsmen need to be able to bat as if they knew how to hold a bat to defend the wicket. Everybody should be able to bat. And that is our downfall. If we don't get those guys batting and put a price on the wicket, we're not going to give Australia or any other team a score that our bowlers can defend.
All right.
So that's my take.
Thank you. Professor, what's your take? Is Leon right? Should we drop?
Well, not only is Leon right, but I think that, the team needs to get a course of mind power right now. Okay. I mean, they need to have that motivational speaker or coach, because the game changes on a consistent basis based on the score. And when your opening batsman goes out there and you're batting second or third and you're sitting relaxing and he goes for a duck, and you're walking out there with your like, what just happened? Are you prepared at that time to actually take over the position as an opening batsman? Okay, and the other team knows your condition and they're coming at you hard now because you don't expect to be batting. Okay, so mind power is one of the things that has been introduced to cricket, where you should be getting the psychology of the game and the science of the game, because I said every time the score change, the attitude of the next batsman is supposed to change. Mm-hmm. And if they're not being prepared for that, then they're not going to perform.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much for that. Ivor, should Campbell be dropped or lower in the order?
No. I'm not dropping Campbell going to Jamaica. He looked good for the better part. He made an ugly shot, like say in the first inning. But Craig Brathwaite would not be going to Jamaica. He should be going home. There should have been a farewell for him. They should have announced that. Or he himself should have announced it. So I don't know why they're publishing this up, because that's where they pick Louis for, to give him his 100. And then if he fails, you'll bring in Louis. No, I beg to differ that Hope is our best batter. I've heard it bandied about on the Andrew Mason show too. My best batter cannot last play Test cricket 2021, coming back 4 years later. as a wicket keeper, batter, and tell me he's my best batter. And if you look at Hope today, Hope don't want to play no test cricket. Hope came down woofing today. Actually running, backing away early against world-class bowlers. Not being in that team. So if we're waiting for Hope to be our best batter and to promote him up the order, to do what? Trying to skate us to run? And it's not going to happen. We have 2 wicket keepers that should be keeping ahead of him, and they will do better in the batting. Now, King got a chance playing with hard hands outside the off stump and still get them bowled on neck and crop. I don't care what the commentator said. I heard him, he couldn't do nothing. You got to come across bat and pad. You're looking good, pretty, as if a hole is in your bat. You're not covering your off stump. Then Chase, jumping up like what? Making people believe that the ball is keeping low. When the ball is just barely clipping the top of the stump. Hope bats that way too. Making people believe, the ball's keeping low, so you're down on your haunches. When you look at the replay, just barely clipping the stumps. Then again, I'm saying, here is umpire's call again. On another day, it would have been not out. Umpire's call, Chase stays. But why is he crouching down as if the ball was low? The ball was not low. The ball was going almost over the stumps. Carty looked lackadaisical. If my number 3 and my number 4 supposed to be my 2 best batters in the team, we're not ready. We're not ready. You have to show me a little bit something. You have to have some swag. You have to have something about him batting at number 3. He's just like he's in dreamland. He's in la la land. And that's my honest take and look of our frontline batting. So if they're going to persist in taking Craig Brathwaite over to Jamaica, unless they're going to just give him a farewell over there while he's carrying the towels, he is done. His average now is 32 with a strike rate of 42. We're not going to win any matches. We're not going to win any matches with that kind of a performance. Second inning, he's found wanting. He got all his 12 centuries. He got about 2 in the second inning. And test cricket is durability, longevity. And if you cannot win the match in the second inning, batting on a 4th day, he has not shown us that. Take his stats. We're wasting time with this team. And then my last thing, and the vice captaincy. Anybody can be named vice captain. Your vice captain does not have to play. It's not in any cricket book about the vice captain. The book tells you cricket is played with 11 cricketers, one of whom shall be named captain. So if Chase is not playing tomorrow, in the warm-up he gets sick, all you have to do is to give the umpire 11 team and name a captain. They ask that to name the wicket keeper, so we know who's keeping. And now they tell you can name some, what do you call them there? The sub players, them like for like. That's all they're telling you to name. So vice captain, let's not waste no time. Kane Warne was vice captain for Australia and got dropped. Let's not fool ourselves with the vice captaincy and waste time and what we can, and the selection and Sammy and all that stuff. Let's deal with the 11 who is playing on the park. They are not test cricketers. Like you said, from the neck up, 90%, the mind is not in there. They're not approaching. 35 overs in a session, you're telling me you're out? And you have people there trying to cheer for you. They well want some cricket, and you're going out within 35 overs. Hope dancing down the wicket like he playing some cricket on the beach with a coconut bat against Hazelwood and those guys. Come on, man. Thank you.
Thank you, Ira. All right. Dale, Ira mentioned Louis. But Louis has had 12 innings for the West Indies. And of the 12 innings, he's made 1 score of 57 and 1 score of 97. Does that give him a qualification to move into the West Indies team? And second point, Carty has had 8 innings and he's had 3 innings of 40 runs and 1 of 31 runs. So how do you assess those two along with what transpired today?
Okay, to be fair to both of them, there is no West Indian batter who is averaging, that's currently playing, and Brathwaite might be there or on about over 30 runs per inning. We are defending persons who have batting averages of 25, 26, a little more, a little less. We have to work with what we have. We speak about mind and mind power. Every man is born with the ability to use the power of their mind, because everything comes from your mental approach. Your success depends on that. Your expectations are fulfilled by that. If you keep hearing negative things about yourself, you will do exactly what people are saying. The wicket is doing this, the wicket is doing that. That's how you're going to bat. So the ability to adapt is what all the batters are lacking. And presently, the West Indies cricket is not set up in a way to bring in anyone who has expertise, a person like a Dr. Rudy Webster, to work with the players. You cannot go and get someone from an office somewhere down in the middle of town to come in and speak to cricketers because they're not sensitive to the particular and peculiar needs of cricketers, dealing with a first ball duck to dropping catches or whatever. And the manner in which these gentlemen are getting out makes you wonder, what is the game plan in the dressing room? Now, with all that is spoken about, the coach, the selector, the head coach, the head selector, when you look across the board, it's the same name that you see popping up. And that is mistake number one. Mistake number two is that the hierarchy in West Indies cricket, they are not adapting. They are using fancy terms to tell you simple things. And because people don't truly understand what it is they're saying, or maybe they do, but it's to nothing. We have shown, for example, you need a wicketkeeper in this day and age who can bat and who can make runs. Mr. Hope looks good, but he doesn't produce. Cricket is a production game. It's not a beauty contest. It is a game of production. You look at how many wickets a man takes per test match, and you look at how many runs he scores. It doesn't matter if he's only going to give you an average of 20 runs or 25 runs. It means if he scores 75 in the first inning, the next inning, he's going to probably score below 10 to match up his average, to bring his average back to where it is. Hope's claim to fame was those twin hundreds at Lord's, I believe, and he has been living on that ever since. It's not his fault. It's persons refusing to understand that, one, he does not really want to play Test cricket. They're begging him to play. And if they begged him to play, it should be purely as a batsman, not as a wicketkeeper batter, because I can tell you that position is the most demanding position in cricket, to wicket keep and to bat. And all the top teams, you look at the performance of Alex Carey for Australia, you look at the performance of Jamie Smith for England, you look at the performance for Pant for India, you see a huge gap between our wicket keepers and their wicket keepers. And we need to get the best batter, regardless, and best batter as in production, out on the field, and let him do what he does best. The rest of the team comes around. he's the nucleus where the team is surrounded. Our bowlers, they bowled very well. However, when the time came for them to bat, they lifted up the bat and played the ball. They hit the ball. Why can they do that? And the specialist batsmen are fiddle-faddling around as if they don't know what they're doing. It's because they simply don't. Why you think Shamar Joseph came in and hit the ball all over the place and made 44 runs? He had something called confidence because he took a bunch of wickets. John Campbell is not going to have confidence because he dropped catches. And when he was out with a careless shot, his captain says he doesn't see anything wrong with it. That's John Campbell for you. Those are the words of his captain. I don't expect him to lash him, give him 30 lashes, but he can say, we'll work on this. But you cannot expect a man to do that which he has not been taught. And that is to use the power of his mind, to sit down and have that determination that, yes, you may beat me, but I'm going to make some runs today.
Well said, sir.
Thank you, Brother Dale. Murtris.
Can I add something to what Dale just said there?
Okay.
Because I hate this for real with this best batter. Pope has batted 76 times in tests. And he brought it to light. The only 2 centuries was in one match. He's only 2 centuries. And then he had 5 half centuries. 76 times. And his last appearance was in 2021. You're bringing him back now as a wicketkeeper. Expect him to do better and still calling him our best batter? We have to not play Test cricket.
All right. Thank you.
Could I just say something here? I know one who mentioned, this is my opinion, that Shai Hope is the most complete batsman. I've listened to commentators talking about the gentleman. And we have seen him. I know that selection of a team is not easy. A lot of things are taken into consideration. I agree that he should not be keeping the wicket. He's a batsman who can keep. He's not a wicket keeper who can bat. A wicket keeper is an important position. You get your best keeper and hope that he's a good batsman, that he could fit into the team to add stability to the batting. But I still maintain that Shai Hope is almost complete batsman. Yes, you need to look at the stats and so on. And I know of a fact that one or two of the guests mentioned that he doesn't want to play. He stood down from Test cricket to play 50 overs and one-day cricket. And he's been brought back because who are the reserves? Who out there? Can we name players, batsmen, who should be playing ahead of Shai Hope? I can think of Audley, but I'm going for Audley because Audley is one of our young prospects. Right? I've seen this guy bat. I saw him bat in England and batted well. And listened to the commentators, and they thought that there's something in this youngster. And with regards to the vice captain, you just don't select a team for a test series. No test team is selected without appointing a vice captain. It has always been like that. But when you look at our West Indies team, Chase had to be the captain. And he being named captain, you just don't name a vice captain. We always like to have successions of captains. And you go for a young player, good enough, can make the team, and he has the captaincy ability. And this is why I said early on that I would have loved for them just to name the captain. You don't have to name Warrican as the vice captain. Yes, we have seen where vice captains drop. I remember J.K. Wood going to Pakistan in the 60s or thereabout. Alexander was the captain, and J.K. Walt was the vice captain, and he was dropped. But the quality of the players then is different from today. And that's the point I'm trying to make.
Thank you, Mr. Chambers. Murtris, you've been quiet back there. What's your thought on what's happening with the West Indies?
Well, for me, I don't know the players the way you guys know the players individually, collectively, on a whole. But as far as I understand, in my from back in the day, cricket for the West Indies was something that we look forward to, that we play forward to, that we encourage our guys to work hard to make the West Indies team. Right now, the West Indies team doesn't have a heart nor soul. They're just playing cricket because it's cricket. They need to go back to school and learn what the meaning of West Indies cricket is all about. They just go in, do the bat, whatever. I don't know what mindset they have, but their mindset is not set to play cricket West Indies style. So from the top, because when you have a team and you guys talk about the opening batsmen, they're the one who set the pace. And if you're going in there and you're not mentally stable or mentally in the game, the game is not gonna go good, because those who follow you, they're not gonna. Some of them have the heart and they try, but it doesn't work. You have to set the pace. And when you go in and you come out with a duck, what does that mean for the others? And those in the middle try to bring up the score. So those on the bench now who coming in last, they have to fight so hard. It's like they're playing catch up. So I don't see them being in any good competition anymore unless they get their priorities straight, unless the from the top, the management, they bring people in so that and talk about the cricket session. That's my opinion. And I hope they come together and do something real. They need a big miracle in order to get back to the way West Indies.
I have to give you a clap there, boy.
They have to come back to what the West Indies is all about. Find some of those old players from way back when, and come in and give them a lecture or something. Find some other means and ways of learning what the game is really all about. It's not a gentleman's game anymore. It's not even, they don't even play as if it's a gentleman's game. So that's my opinion.
Thank you so much, Mertrice. Very, very astute, very careful. They're very, very strident on comments.
Thank you.
Yes. Leon, looking over the numbers, the West Indies have had 16 innings in the last year or so. And only 3 times out of those 16 innings have West Indies managed to score over 300 runs.
And shows us, Dennis, before any going further, our biggest problem is our batting. And I keep talking about it. I say everybody has got to bat. Not everybody has got to bowl, but everybody has got to bat and feel. Our fielding is letting us down too. We drop too many catches. Mm-hmm. We ought to be able to do something about that, and then you get your confidence back. What you talk about, they don't have no confidence.
Soul, no heart.
Coaches can't tell you to defend the ball. You got to see when the ball is there to be defended, when it's got to be hit. Half this. The bottom half of the side is making a few runs. What happened to the top half? I can't understand. I really can't understand. No coach is going to tell you, those guys at this stage anything. You ought to know. You defend when the ball is on your stump, or if it's there to be hit, if it's a full toss. But when it's a good ball, play. You have your defense. And hit the ball away when you get a loose delivery, and take your catches.
All right. Professor, from where I'm sitting, I think I would be inclined to make 2 changes for the next test match, and that is I would bring in Kevin Hodge in place of Phillips, and I would bring in Athanaze to open the innings in place of Brathwaite. Is that a change that you would recommend?
Is that my question?
Yes, it is.
Well, let me say this. I was so stressed out by the last game. I have had this has caused me more stress than all the last 10 sessions I've watched. So anything that you're gonna do right now is gonna at least change my expectations. Okay, because as Nesbitt said, we have to get some change. Okay, otherwise, we're going to be reluctant to watch the game because it's just too stressful.
All right, thank you.
I'm Dennis.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Chairman.
I'm not stressed out because I'm going to watch a test match. I'm leaving next Friday to watch a test match. I'm not stressed out. I'm hoping.
You're hopeful.
I agree with Atnees. And I would also like Atnees to come in for one of the openers.
Yes. Brathwaite
should go. It's a long, long time he has made any runs. Long, not just this year that you're going to give him a farewell game. It should have been dropped a long time ago. I would replace...
Athanaze is not an opening batsman in Test cricket, so...
No.
I don't know where we're going with that. Louis is the opening batsman.
Dale, at this stage, you can improve.
No, but Louis is there. We can overlook Louis.
But no,
because an opening batsman.
All right, you bring in Louis. He's not a bad player. You bring in Louis for one of the openers, probably Brathwaite, and I support the Jamaica connection. He's playing in Jamaica. It might help him. The manner of his dismissal in that innings when he swept that delivery from Hazelwood should have been the end of his career, in my opinion.
Yes.
It should have been. But having played him in this game, he got a reasonable 40, which he should have really batted on, having gotten to that score. Going to Jamaica, I don't think he will be left out of the team. But I would love to see Moti in for Phillips.
I think
that we have three good fast bowlers up there, the two Joseph, and you have Greaves who is bowling pretty well. So you don't need that fourth fast bowler.
Right.
Have Moti in, and Moti can help with the batting down there. He has a way of making runs.
Yes.
So I would make those two changes, leave out Brathwaite and bring in Louis, and drop Phillips for Moti. Those are my two changes for the next test match. Right. And I'm hoping to enjoy it.
Thank you. Dale, would you play Imlach for wicket keeping or De Silva to give Hope the rest from behind the stumps?
Okay, I would more lean toward Imlach because, both of them made runs in the regional competition and they both deserve to be there. But in his last about 30 innings, De Silva has averaged 20, and his overall average is around 24. So let's give Imlach a shot. I don't think that Athanaze should have been dropped. I have a problem with just bringing in people just like that. It has nothing to do with anything except production and desire. And to just bring in Chase, who did not play Test cricket for a few years, and to bring in Hope, who did not play Test cricket for a few years, and to bring in Brandon King, who had never played Test cricket, that was too much chopping and changing, I believe. And, it's just too much chopping and changing, plain and simple. You can't shift your team like that. Not only that, you're introducing a new captain on top of that and a new vice captain. So if you look, there are 5 ways that the team was impacted negatively because of these sweeping changes, including the head coach and including the head selector and the only selector. That is too much, too many changes for you to bring into a team and expect them to be stable and perform admirably. I really believe that, and I hope that Imlak gets a chance to play in Jamaica. It will be difficult for him now, but they have to put him into that team. Both him and Athanaze, I would believe.
Thank you so much, everyone. Now